I know everything's quiet. Alrighty, it's 5 p.m. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Alright, we'll begin with the pledge. If everybody will stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Alright, so we will begin with reports and start with the literacy fair letters. Dr. Bennett?
So at the end of this, I'd like to do a picture with all the students up here, and maybe get the board in the background if you guys could stand up. On October 6th, we had a literacy fair in Gilmer County Schools. Of course, we have a major initiative with writing and moving our ELA progress forward with our state assessment. These students went above and beyond, and they're going to receive a little certificate of achievement here, and for their category and for putting the extra effort in and winning the literacy fair. The certificate says, Certificate of Achievement awarded to in recognition of outstanding achievements and accomplishments for receiving first place during Gilmer County Schools 2023-2024 Literacy Fair held on October 6th. So we really appreciate all the students' participation and their hard work, and we'll bring up the first one, and if you could line up here afterwards, we would like to get a picture with the board so we can post that out on our social media. The first winner here is Jed Short, first place, The Three Little Pigs, Fantasy and Fairy Tale. Good job. Appreciate it. Right up here. If you could line up right up there.
Good job, bud.
The next is Jacob Brody Campbell, third grade, What is D-Day? Informational. So, good job, Jacob. Good work. Next is Reagan Morgan, fourth grade, Little House on the Prairie, historical fiction. Good job. Very good. Next is Kaylee Smith, fourth grade, The Cat in the Hat Comes Back, Fantasy and Fairy Tale. Good job. Next is Lindsay Kinder, fourth grade, Junie B. Jones and the Smelly Bus, realistic fiction. Good job. All right, next is Holly Moyers, fourth grade, Allie, book series. Very good. And finally, Kendra Fox, 10th grade, Keeper of the Lost Cities, Fantasy and Fairy Tale.
It's not here.
So if we could get the board members to stand up right behind them and give them a big round of applause. We'd like to get a picture with all those students.
Your certificate. Good job.
All right. Good job.
Good job,
guys.
guys.
Good job.
You all are more welcome to leave if you need to, or you're more welcome to stay, whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
It's been fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Probably going to have a barbecue.
Don't beat them till the end.
Don't tell them there's guys.
All right, so that will move us into the consent agenda. We'll start with the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the October 9th, 2023 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the October 9th, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion.
That's why I was not here.
Okay, one abstention, motion carries. All right, we will go on to the treasurer's report. Christie, you have anything for us?
The only thing I have is the schedule of checks is ready.
I'll make a motion to approve checks to be written.
Second. Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded to approve the schedule of checks to be written. Is there any further discussion of that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we'll move into new business and start with approval of patty maker for the animal processing classroom. Dr. Bennett.
Just want to make a recommendation here for the Hooten Equipment patty maker in the amount of $17,275.
Make a motion to approve the patty maker purchase for the animal processing classroom.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the bid for the patty maker for the animal processing classroom. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to letter B, approval of bone saw purchase for the animal processing classroom.
Same thing, just recommend making a motion to approve the bid for a meat bone saw from Hooten Equipment in the amount of $16,910.
So moved. Second.
It's been probably moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation about the bone saw for the animal processing classroom. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, we're down to item C, approval of change orders for the animal processing classroom.
You'll see there's two change orders. We've left these out there to make sure we're very close to finishing. As a matter of fact, we got hogs coming in, I believe tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I thought.
Friday, you're going to see meat in there. So we've got occupancy in the shop. This is the first round of change orders. Change order number 1. Just the stuff that we had to do. We made we did some additional things, like we thought we needed a real vapor barrier in there. It was recommended. We picked that up. We had to replace some drywall. We had a grease trap that cost us an extra $25,000 to move around. We did some different things like that we just had to do. It totaled $64,548. So that first change order kind of put us down a little bit. The second change order was one that we came out on top with. It's where that we did the purchasing. The UCCI did the equipment out of their initial cost. That came back as $127,164, kind of to the good. So we got that money back because that was in the original bid. So that makes us about $77,312 out to the good on this project. What we had already said that we had and was voted on before, the money that we had out minus the $64,000 and plus the $127 puts us a little bit of money ahead. We are looking into using some more of that equipment funds to purchase a generator that would work in the case of our kids getting halfway through their meat project and we have a big snowstorm for 12 days or something that would wipe it out. We're looking at using some of that $77,000 to do the install, and trying to figure out how to do the install, which we expect the install to be about $50,000 on a generator that size. Overall, both change orders, these are things that I consider we had to do at the time. We got the project is complete now. Everything seems to be ready to go with it, the grease trap and so on and so forth. And of course, we meant to have UCCI help us with the freezers because they were installing those. And for us to order the equipment, we didn't have an installer. So these are things that kind of were essential to the project. And we want to make sure you guys are good with the change orders. But everything is ready to go. And like I said, we have hogs coming and our ribbon cutting is Friday. And
What time is that?
it's at 1:30. So it is. I took a walk through last week. It's there. It's going to be neat. So absolutely.
Make a motion to approve both change orders.
So moved. Or second, excuse me, sorry.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve both change orders as presented by the superintendent. Is there any further discussion on that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to D, Junior Appalachian Music Program.
So, Ben, a few of you asked me about developing the program. I've got the program here. I will have kind of the entire program built in the next few days. But just to give you a rundown of what this is, I've got a projected budget. There's a lot less instrument cost because we've partnered with the college and got some instruments. We're still going to need some instruments. We probably still need 4 or 5 guitars, 4 or 5 banjos. But we have the capability here by looking at the funding that's in the levy to sustain a program like this. We have other funding that we're going to use, some different reimbursements and things that are local funds that we will use to get this program started. But the overview is basically, we would like to promote our local Appalachian music and dance to our students in an after-school setting where they can learn instruments and dance throughout the year and provide our local musicians in the state a chance to pass down their tradition and also partner and do events in our local community with those folks. We have a partnership that we're working on obtaining. It's called a Junior Appalachian Music Partnership, and they kind of have an outline of how to do this, how to fund this. Additional funding could be coming through that partnership. They write grants with the National Endowment of the Arts and things like that. For this year, not being able to obtain all of those immediately, in order to make this program work, and this is all, of course, pending, this is the survey that would go out to the students if we get enough students, and we're hoping to get between 10 and 20 students for every instructor. I think if you get an instructor trying to do strings and more than 10 or 15 students, it's going to be tough. So what we're hoping to do is fund some of this through levy funds. We've already secured, you guys have already voted on those extracurricular academic programming, $3,000 out for a coordinator. There's different pieces of it that are going to be pieced together. But this would be an after-school program for about 4 hours per week. 2 hours of it is guaranteed live instruction. And basically, 4 times a year, we're going to have masterclass series concerts where our students get on stage with local musicians and do a performance. They will also be attending festivals, and we're going to try to get them on stage at the state festivals such as Vandalia and the West Virginia State Folk Festival and Appalachian String Band Festival. Those types of things, they'll be attending those, so there's some field trips involved and some different things. But we're really hoping that we can get enough students that we can get the program taken off, which will eventually turn into a strings program at our high school, which would support the music program as well. So there are some kids in band and marching band that are already doing guitar and things, and I've talked with some of those kids. I think that there's going to be interest. I know there's the interest in the dance part of it. My theory is, to bring in what I consider an old timer, and I think I can call Max Samples that, but I would consider bringing those folks to Glenville and training our kids on an annual basis. And this would fund that program, and the initial cost to begin with, it looks to be, a coordinator would be about $3,000. We would have about $6,000 in instructor. We've got musical repair. The first year, there's a lot of instruments there that need set up and repaired. It's going to be probably several $1,000s, $200 or $300 a piece, but it's cheaper than buying instruments. There's some master class concerts, about $1,000 a concert, $4,000. Clinics, couple clinics at $2,000, and professional development, which would total about $25,000 to get us started. We're hoping to do this a year or two and obtain a core group of kids, write grants, and use levy fund to fund the rest of it to sustain it past. So my recommendation was if we truly want to provide this, and it's an artistic program. This is outside the box of academic, is to partner with our develop this after school, partnering with our programs, and put some funding to it to make sure that it's got enough to be successful. And what I would do is, I would like for you guys to make a motion to allow me to use $25,000 a year to develop this program with the goal of becoming self-sustaining through sponsorship and fundraising and grants eventually.
What happens if it doesn't?
I think that if you get to the point where you don't have the interest in the program, of course I think the program would go away. Does that make sense? If you don't have the kids, this is all pending if the students are interested in the program. If you don't have the people interested in it, and you can't get the people to, the program doesn't grow, for example, then, I don't think that you sustain the program. And that's why I added it like that. There is enough money in fine arts and extracurricular academics and things in the levy that I looked at today to fund an instructor. That's not going to be the issue. The issue is going to be whether or not we have the students that want to participate. And that's going to have to be something that we're going to have to try and see. Now, before we do any of this, of course, before I would, make any of this happen, put the contracts in front of you and show you the whole program, I want to do an interest survey with the students. This would just allow me to start the partnerships and look at funding and things like that.
If I may, they did this in Lewis County, and it was and continues to be a tremendous hit. You mentioned dance as a part of this. That is one side of the arts here that we have not touched on. But one that, look at the square dancing on Main Street,
Right.
Every June. There's obviously a desire, and just like you see the same thing in the schools in New Orleans with jazz, and in Chicago with the blues. These uniquely American things, we really kind of got to get behind and support. So I can, if it makes you feel better, I can tell you that as department chair of the Fine Arts Department, I'll get behind this and I'll do whatever I can, providing whatever services, whatever venues, whatever we can to make it successful.
That means a lot, bro. Just being able for our kids to get on stage with master musicians in the state and play in a venue, that's an educational experience that they've never get before. So I'm hopeful.
I think we owe it to our children to hand these skills down generation after generation, and I think it's kind of something that's been overlooked as a part of broader education. But, not only the skills themselves, but, partnering with the previous generations to learn these skills brings about, so many added benefits to the young people today, teaching them values and.
We really want to make sure that our kids learn our local tradition. Like, we want them to play Melvin Wines fiddle tennis.
Yep. And you also have to remember that with this comes the study of West Virginia history,
Right.
The study of, all kinds of,
Where they
yeah.
came from.
So it's not just the music, there's a whole set of academic standards that come with it as well, which is also beneficial.
The partnering with the West Virginia State Folk Festival is also enough. We want to see, we want to help the community out as well. We want our kids, we have a really good dance tradition down there. The square dance has become a very young, popularized thing to do. We would like the same thing happen with the music. Having groups of local musicians at those events would be kind of like it was.
Because
Like
that's
it
dying
was.
out.
It's dying out, yeah. So we want to be able to partner with those groups and work with them and get their support and get our kids down there on the stages and things at those events. So, and I think that that's totally doable. One of the pieces to this program is we'd like to have a board member that's on, kind of this council. And I was hoping to ask, Dr. Barr to do that. We'd also like to have David Odell as the West Virginia State Folk Festival president.
I'm gonna find a better person.
And, for us to find people to do these types of things with, we'd like to move forward. But before I create any more, because I've got a vast program here created, I'd like to know that there's willingness from the board that we would put some funding behind it.
This is all after school.
This would be after school. Of course, there is room in the schedule now, since we rearranged the schedule, that if we got a great group like they have over in Lewis County, we can run a strings program during the day where those kids can take and work on this daily.
Where's the initial money come from for this? It's got levy.
So there are pieces of it that are from the levy, and it looks about half of it probably would be able to be levy funded. There's levy money in fine arts, there's levy money in extracurricular academics, there's levy funding in, I have it right here in front of me. Extended curricular and summer instruction, academic extracurricular, and there's levy funding in fine arts. There are some of that we can use. The rest of this would be money that's local funded that we currently have. And what we would do is, hopefully for a year or two, get the instruments, get them all set up, get our established process and things like that. And I really believe it can be sustained with a little bit of funding that's in the levy for the instructor after that. Our local events, like the West Virginia State Folk Festival, instead of having to pay master class musicians and put our kids on the stage with them and have them be helped, we're hoping in 2 or 3 years our kids can do that on their own, and that's the goal of it, that it will sustain itself.
Any other discussion?
I make a motion to develop the Gilmer County Schools Appalachian Music and Dance Program and allow the superintendent to use up to $25,000 a year for the development of this program, with the goal the program will become self-sustaining through sponsorship and fundraising.
Second. So properly moved and seconded to approve the development of the Junior Appalachian Music Program. Is there any further discussion of that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Alright, we'll move into personnel and start with professional.
Just make the recommendation here, Cheyenne Varnell, restricted substitute, Gilmer County Schools.
So moved.
Second. Been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation in the professional section of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion of that main motion?
What is a restricted?
It's the associate degree.
It's associate degree.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Kind of like regular.
Yeah.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, move on to service.
Service make the recommendation of Donna Estep, substitute custodian, Gilmer County Schools. Robin Roberts, substitute classroom transportation aide. Ashley Holbert, substitute classroom transportation aide. And Seth McHenry, obtaining his prior years of service credit of 2 years.
So moved.
Second.
Then properly moved and seconded to approve the service personnel of the personnel agenda as presented by the superintendent. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, at this time, I'll recuse myself due to a family relation in the next section. My share of the record, you have.
All right. Up to your mini, extracurricular portion.
First is the rescinding hire, Cassandra Ward, auxiliary varsity cheerleading coach. The next are recommendations for hire. Rob Smith, head Mini Titan boys basketball coach. Corey Phillips, homebound instructor. Emma Taylor, resignation, elementary basketball coach, 4th, 5th. Brian Taylor, resignation, auxiliary elementary basketball coach, 4th, 5th. Jacob Yoakum, student council advisor, GCHS. Laura Chapman, National Honor Society advisor. Danny Smith, elementary basketball coach, 4th, 5th. Thomas Ratliff, auxiliary boys basketball. Johnny Eisenhart, handyman. Anthony Canfield, handyman. Steve Rollins, handyman. Henry Freimeyer, handyman. Edmund Moore, handyman. Randy Poland, handyman. And Josh Godfrey, handyman.
I'll make a motion to approve the extracurricular portion of it.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Tom and Cody.
A little weak there.
Yeah, Cody rings my ear.
I'll be asleep when we start.
We're down to the permission to post.
All right, or maybe you go right ahead.
Just special education, trying to get a recommendation or motion here to receive permission to post for special education classroom transportation aid, Gilmer County Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so properly moved and seconded to approve the permission to post special education classroom transportation aid, Gilmer County Elementary Schools. Is there any further discussion of that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. I believe we do continuous improvement in the state of the schools address. Dr. Matt.
I don't know if you guys got a copy of it, there's a copy of the state of the schools. And I'm gonna plug this thing in here.
Do you want me to hit a red lights?
Okay. Yeah, that's good. So this is something that I would like to do yearly, give an address about what state our school is after our accreditation comes back from the State Department. And give the community and the folks watching online a good representation of how our performance stacked up compared to last year and other districts in the state. Okay, so this information came in a memorandum to Gilmer County Schools from Michelle Blatt. I've given you guys a copy of this at the last meeting, and it's a part of our West Virginia accountability system, policy 2322. This is the balanced scorecard results. You either reach standard, the county indicator that does not meet standard and does not show improvement for 2 consecutive years will be designated as a support county. You can see our county is not designated for support in any category. So that was a very good thing. You know, we want to make sure that we're growing and that we're seeing some of these things be eliminated over the next few years. Just last year, we had 4 categories. We removed one of those categories this year with efficiency. You can see with ELA achievement, our score in 2022 was 50.4. It increased to 51.9. With math achievement, it was 46.2. It increased to 47.9. In ELA progress, those progress, you guys have all been trained on the accountability system. Those progress, how much growth you had. We went from 38.9 to 47.42, which is a really big jump. Same in math. We went from 43.0 to 54.64, and we got up in the blue in that area. Our attendance rate, it's based on chronically absent students. We're trying to do a big push getting students there to school. Whether it's unexcused or excused, we need them there. It's based off of being in school more than 90% of the time, or missing less than 10%. 30% of our kids in 2022 were chronically absent. This year, 27%.
Might tell the people that are watching, like, the number of days.
And that's 18 days.
So they can help get their kids to school.
We're going to be doing a roundtable video on Wednesday with Mr. Buckley. We're going to be putting out a whole video that's going to go through exactly what time to get them there and how many days it is and real specific details, because a lot of people don't know chronically absent. Our county is judged by that number, 10%, whether it's a doctor's excuse or not. So we improved that 3%. We hope to get that under 25. I believe there's only around 6 schools in the entire state that's got that under 20 school systems. Discipline improved from 93.2% to 97.5%. Graduation rate 4-year improved from 93.3% to 93.55%. Graduation rate 5-year, it went from in 2022 92.3 to 93.3. On track to graduate. This is one of those indicators that we're needing, to look at. It went from 73.3 to 76.32. The only area that did not see growth is post-secondary achievement. We have a plan to figure out, what happened there. Is it coding? Is it identifying what happens to the students after they graduate? It went from 89.5 to 78. So I feel very proud of those results. I know that the people working in the trenches, the teachers, the staff, the service people in the school system have really worked hard to make those changes. To get that type of growth in ELA and math was difficult. We also, compared to 2022, met all of our operational effectiveness indicators. We met requirements across the board on all of those indicators. One of only 20 counties to do that. This is the map that the state puts out, and you can see that we changed we're into the green on this one, that we have no support indicators. We're one of 20 counties that do not have any support indicators. And hopefully you'll see next year some of those. We're 2% away from a math. We heard from Mr. Payne the last meeting. We know how many kids that we have exactly in that 10th grade cohort. We're going to start to see some of these things be removed. Chronically absent is a really tough one. It is dropping, so we don't need support in it, but To get that to where it needs to be is a very tall task. You guys have been at those trainings where there's very few districts across the state that actually can get that there. But we're gonna try. We're putting out information this week on chronically absent to parents that we're gonna post online. You can see these are all the counties that met all the efficiency indicators in West Virginia. In the yellow are the ones that have been there for two consecutive years. You can see that we just turned there because we're in white. This is our first year meeting those indicators there. So we just turned white on that one. So hopefully you'll see us in that area next year. We'll be a yellow county meeting all of our efficiency requirements. We're one of 25 counties that met all of those. Going past that, to understand what state of our schools are in, I did a qualitative data report. I spoke individually with each faculty senate president at each school. I asked 3 questions. Do you feel like you have a good culture at your school? Is the administration and staff working together in a positive way? And do you think the school's major needs are being met by the district? I know that we're growing academically. I wanted to see culturally and how the faculties are working together. At GCHS, I asked Mr. Cox, he's the faculty senate president, do you feel like we have a good culture at the school? The culture was reported to be good and improving. Is the administration and staff working together in a positive way? He says, yes, everybody's working together in a positive way. Do you think the school's major needs are being met by the district? He says, yes, the district is meeting the need. If there were areas of concerns, it would be getting more substitutes. You saw we hired some subs on the list today. So that's one of the issues that we need to work on. That kind of gave me a little bit of a way. He also said that the transition to one planning period has been kind of a transition. Everybody's kind of tired, it's been something to work on. So those were all positive, I think, positive feedback. Gilmer County Elementary School, I talked with Mrs. Chesser. I asked the same questions. Do you feel like you have a good culture at your school? She says, yes, the culture is good and keeps getting better. Is the administration staff working together positive? She says, yes, everybody's working together. Do you think the school's major needs are being met by the district? Yes, the district's meeting the needs. However, she said if there was a focus area, the storage facility, getting back to the storage facility was one of those areas that she thought would be a good need. So that maybe we need to get that back in the front, on the front burner of the stove and trying to figure out how to meet those needs. I was very pleased with talking with both faculty senates that the culture seemed to be good. Everybody is really working together in a positive way. So as overall reflections on what the state of the school, I wrote Gilmer County Schools is watching and working diligently in 3 areas: math, achievement, attendance, and chronically absent rate, and on track to graduate. Those 3 or 4 areas are definitely what we need to focus on. We are on track to fix 2 of those areas. That would be on track to graduate and the math achievement. The chronically absent rate is a little bit more tricky of a nut to crack. It's a tough one. We are working diligently. We have a Team of 10 meeting coming up. We have a whole group of folks that are working. CIS is activated on this. They're doing an excellent job. They're putting out posters and things to remind the students. We're reaching out to families and things like that to help us. Gilmer County Schools has shown improvement in efficiency indicators and plans to meet all efficiency indicators again this year. So we've shown improvement in that. We meet all of our indicators, so we're very proud of that. School culture is improving. I feel like in both schools, staff is working together in a positive way and major needs are being met. Got a few of those areas, substitutes one of those areas, getting back into the storage facility. We got a couple little things there, but overall everybody seems to be like they're working together. Gilmer County School is one of 20 counties that show no support indicators. I think that's a very good thing. That means that we're growing in all of our categories and our support indicators. There are none there. The state if we were decreasing in areas, they would be having support indicators, and you would be getting documentation of that. So as long as we keep growing, we're having those gains in reading and math and on track to graduate, we're in good shape. And finally, the schools in Gilmer County are strong, they're improving, they're showing growth, and are meeting requirements by the WVD for accountability. And that's kind of the state of the schools report in a nutshell. I'd like to do that every year so you guys know exactly what we need to work on. We have some improvement areas that we've already shown growth on, and we consider a few of those, if we can keep up with what we're doing, will go away this school year. Are there any questions? And you saw I put out a letter to staff thanking them for their commitment and their work. There has been some real sacrifice from the staff. They've been really working hard. Their leadership teams are working together, and they are implementing programs that have had a major impact over the last few years. That's all I got on that.
Thank you, sir. Way better than the headlines.
Alrighty, so we will go on to the superintendent's update. Dr. Mack?
Just a couple updates. I wanted to go back to board docs and ask a question. If you guys would rather have a work session here where we do a little training so you guys will all be trained on board docs, or would you rather come in? Would you just rather do it a board meeting night, or would you rather take time out of your schedule?
I'm fine after a meeting sometimes.
All right, we'll have a work session, board meeting. All right, so we've got that plan. We're starting to execute the rollout of board docs, and we'll try to get a work session planned so you guys can get updated on how to use all of that. The final thing for this week is we have the meat shop ribbon cutting ceremony, October 27th at 1:30. I wanted to remind everybody of that. We plan to, reach out to everybody that's involved and invite those folks. We've invited folks from the state, we've invited other schools. We would like to be able to highlight this ribbon cutting ceremony on our social media site, send it to the newspaper. This is a big deal for the community. It's a big deal for our kids. It's a SBA funded project, so we've had multiple partners. A lot of community people have come together. Mr. Cox has done an excellent job. Mr. Frazier's done an excellent job. We have worked hard on this project. So it looks good. I'm excited for everybody to see it. I think everybody's going to really kind of be wowed, they'll be able to really put forth the product. And hopefully, one day, if we work everything out correctly, be able to provide the meat to our students that our students are eating during the day. So it would be really neat to have our locally grown stuff, our kids eating that type of locally grown product. So that's all I've got as an update.
One thing I seen when we had on our social media page, Dr. Minnie, was the superintendent's GOAT Award.
Oh, yeah.
Can you mention that to us? I thought that was.
So, one of the things that I'm trying to do is recognize people for their efforts. There's a lot of good stuff going on out there, guys. Some really good stuff going on in the classrooms, a lot of higher order thinking skills. People are going above and beyond. The greatest of all time superintendent award is a trophy of a GOAT. And I hope it will be greatly coveted over time. And I hope to give these to students and classes that when we do walkthroughs that are doing something, that first one went to Mrs. Dooley. I walked through, it's late on Friday. They're diligently working on math tests, higher order thinking skills, and was well deserved on a Friday afternoon, right before the end of the day, deserved that greatest of all time trophy for completing their work in math tests. You're going to see some at the elementary. When I see it could go to individual students that we see working really hard. It's just one of those things that I hope to inspire people with, to say, hey, I recognize that you're doing great, and you're the greatest of all time. So that's hopefully will be a coveted trophy. We've got a few of them ordered, and we hope to get those out over time this year. So kind of a little explanation of what that award is. If you see it, I thought the kids really enjoyed it. They thought it was special, so I think that the kids will really like it.
I seen that and I thought it was important, and I was like, well, I didn't know about that, but I was glad that, to see stuff like that being put out, for good, good to see what the kids are doing and things.
Yeah.
All right, anything else in the superintendent's update or information that they have questions on? Okay, I guess we're good. All right, we'll go to board member comments, start with Mr. Chapman.
Yeah, we were going to meet room. But Mr. Cox, I don't think we said it last time, and I don't know, it may have been the meeting before. But I read where he had received some sort of award, and I'm looking for it. Yeah, through the FFA, honored as by the National FFA organization, and just more props. We just keep giving good things about Mr. Cox.
Yeah, I think only 1% of all national FFA advisors receive that award, so that's really.
Yeah, he's just doing a really good job. Give props where props are due.
Okay, Dr. Mel.
The extension, the WVU extension office has the trunk or treat Saturday. I was trying to find the picture of what time it was, but I couldn't find it. But it's at the Sue Morris Complex, and you can call the WVU extension office to sign up for that, or get a hold of Jamie Mullins or Daisy Baker. I'm very happy with the direction our schools are taking. We are achieving things every single day. We're identifying problems, we're fixing them as we go. We have made a lot of progress, and I'm just happy that everyone is working together towards what our kids deserve in this county. Mr. Cox, of course, has done a great job. I did a great job with my daughter at FFA, and they allowed them to achieve a lot of things with his assistance. And I'm very happy that he will no longer have to drive to Roane County all winter long to use Roane County's meat shop. And thank you, Roane County, for letting us use your meat shop for the last 9 years. So I'm really looking forward to the meat shop and seeing how that gets rolled out this year.
Dr. Barr. Just a couple notes from the Calhoun Gilmer Career Center. First of all, one thing that I was kind of impressed with in the past, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, the Career Center's been kind of heavy Calhoun and a little less Gilmer. It is right at 50-50 right now. In fact, I'd say it's within 1 or 2 students of being, so Gilmer is taking a bigger interest in that, which I think is wonderful. Also, before I came here today, I had a quick phone call with Kiriana Minnie, and she told me about a wonderful counselors brunch that they had there today with the counselors from Gilmer County High School and Calhoun County High, where they got together, had some brunch, and discussed active plan for recruiting and getting out in the schools, and talking to the students about the offerings at the Career Center, hoping to bolster some more interest in it. And everything she had to say was just wonderful. It was a first step, and she had nothing but good things to say. It was very, very impressive.
Mr. Fresher?
No comment.
All right. I'll make
Please
mine.
give a thumbs up.
I'll make mine quick. Again, after seeing the state of the schools and, just the positive, social media, publicity that we've been getting, I think the goal that we, have set forth for the board and then working with the superintendent, we're meeting those goals, we're achieving in the system. Yeah, it's great to see and, to continue to get the system to move forward. So I just want to thank, again, everybody, Dr. Minnie, the teachers, the staff, the service personnel, everybody is a team, and the more we work as a team, the better off you are at accomplishing the goals, that we've set for the district. But I did have a community member, come up to me and ask me, this week if we had taught any kind of, hunter education safety courses, in the schools. I didn't know if that was something that was taught at the Career Center, if that's something we can institute. There does seem to be a certified individual in the county that could teach those, so I didn't know if that was something that the superintendent could work on to see if we could do something in that area.
They are teaching that at the Career Center.
Okay.
Yep, give them a holler, call Kiriana, that they
I
are
think the
teaching
classes
that.
like this week is.
Yes, yes.
But
And
one
they-
yeah, it is the season.
Yeah. And they do it, but they do it fairly regularly, right?
Yeah, they
That's-
do. They offered a class during the summer, but I think that, one of the things that we could do is offer a course. We talked about that. We could offer a course here too.
When I was in school here, the whole 7th grade took it
Is that right?
at school.
Yeah. So, those are some of the things that we could look in. I do know that it's offered though at the Career Center. We do have offerings, but to expand it like it used to be done, because I took mine
We ought to take it in that West Virginia history class.
I think I had mine in 6th grade and 10th grade.
I think mine was.
I just think it would be beneficial if we could incorporate it back into the, because all those, the younger kids don't have to have
That's
it.
heritage.
Well, and I think, not only, that, and of course, you maybe your high school kids, but then this person even said we could do boater safety, it's required when some of the stuff with having Burnsville Lake this close, that's something else that we'll be able to look into and give them that opportunity to have.
I'll look in to see how it used to be done and kind of come up with a plan and report back. But if anybody needs it now, and you're listening, the Career Center's got a
Career
class
Center.
next week, I believe.
Yes.
It's really soon.
That's all I have, so.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All right, got a properly moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed, meeting adjourned.